Good morning, children. Hope that all of you are safe at home. Welcome back to Learning Economics. Let us continue learning the first chapter, the story of village Panambu. The next thing that we are going to discuss is ways to increase agricultural production. But before that, let me refresh your memory regarding what you had learned in the previous class about factors of production. Here in this picture, you can see all the four factors of production. Look at land, that is marked as factor number 2. Look at labor, he is plucking fruits from the tree. So factor number 1 is labor, and you can see that there. And see, some works are done with the help of tractors, that is part of capital, and that is factor number 3. Without making use of tools and machineries, maybe sometime we are unable to produce anything. And see, someone is standing and observing things, guiding all these activities, and he is the person bringing all these other factors of production together, like land, labor, capital. So that fourth factor of production is known as entrepreneurship, or nowadays in our textbook we have called it as human capital. Hectare is a standard unit of measuring land. 1 hectare equals the area of a square with one side measuring 100 meters. 75% of the people living in Indian villages are farmers. Most often, they are not able to lead a better way of living. So farmers had always tried to increase agricultural production. One way of increasing agricultural production was to make use of the land in the most effective manner. Let us try to understand how farmers are doing it in Indian villages. During the rainy season, farmers grow crops such as jawar and bajra. In winter season, fields are sown with wheat. A part of land area in Indian villages is used to cultivate sugarcane. Uttar Pradesh is the largest producer of sugarcane among Indian states. Land is not left without use during any month or any season. There is a well-developed system of irrigation. Electric run tube wells irrigate larger areas of land more effectively. You can see tube well run with electricity on the left side, and crops such as jawar and bajra on the right side. Sugarcane is also the jawar and bajra are mainly given as food for cattle. You know that India is divided into 6 geographical divisions. Coastal regions in our country are well irrigated. Plateau regions have low levels of irrigation. Of the total cultivated area in the country, even now a little less than 40% is irrigated. Multiple cropping is one of the ways that we follow to increase agricultural production. It means to grow more than one crop on a piece of land during the year. So as you have seen, farmers grow different crops during different seasons in India. So when farmers are growing different crops during different seasons, that kind of cultivation is multiple cropping. One of the ways we followed to increase agricultural production in India was introducing Green Revolution. Green Revolution, or Third Agricultural Revolution, is a set of research technology transfer initiatives occurring between 1950 and the late 1960s that increased agricultural production worldwide, particularly in the developing world, beginning most markedly in the late 1960s. The Green Revolution in India refers to a period when Indian agriculture was converted into an industrial system due to the adoption of modern methods and technologies such as the use of high yielding variety seeds, tractors, irrigation facilities, pesticides and fertilizers. It was mainly found by M.S. Swaminathan. Shortly we can say Green Revolution means industrialization of agriculture. What do you see in these two pictures? You can see people are engaged in different activities with the help of machines. So you see industrialization of agriculture now, and that is what is known as Green Revolution. You see M.S. Swaminathan now. He is known as the father of Green Revolution in India. An immediate result of the Green Revolution was an increase in agricultural production. The yield of wheat grown from the traditional varieties in Indian villages was nearly, on an average, 1300 kg per hectare. With HYV seeds, the yield went up to 3200 kg per hectare. What do you see from the table given below? The production of wheat and pulses has increased considerably since 1960s. As you know, we had introduced Green Revolution in 1960s in India. So you see production in million tons here now. So the production was only 10 million tons in the case of pulses in 1965-66. It was 10 million ton of wheat in 1965-66, but it became 70 million tons in 2000-2001. In 2013-14, it became 96 million tons in the case of wheat production, and the production of pulses had increased to 1919 million tons in 2013-14. Demerits of Green Revolution. Agricultural production will increase only by making use of more chemical fertilizers. This will lead to losing fertility of the soil. Tube-well irrigation will reduce water table level below the ground. Once the fertility of the soil is destroyed, it is very difficult to restore it. And also, if groundwater is lost, the same thing will be there. Means once it is not maintained, then it is very difficult to restore it. In addition to these things, Green Revolution could not ensure future development of agriculture. To some extent, Green Revolution made India self-sufficient in food production in 1960s itself. But Green Revolution was not free from demerits. Let us try to analyze the demerits of Green Revolution now. It resulted in increased use of chemical fertilizers. It led to loss of soil fertility. The benefits of Green Revolution were not everlasting. That means farmers could produce large number of grains in the beginning, but later it led to loss of soil fertility. Farmers started suffering later. Tube-well irrigation reduced the water table level below the ground. Once fertility of the soil and water table level, these things are affected, it is very difficult to restore the fertility of soil and groundwater. And as I told earlier, it could not ensure future development of agriculture. Let me thank all those who have listened carefully. Thank you once again. Thanks for being with me.